Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Extra Utilities 2. Today, we're going to be covering a few of the available options to you to creating GP, or grid power. As I've already discussed the basics on how you can get started in there and create a little bit of grid power manually, or just at least a little bit to get you going, there are other methods to generate GP, or grid power. Namely, there is the Windmill, the Watermill, Fire Mill, Lava Generator, and of course, the Dragon Egg Generator, which that's a bit endgame there. But anyway, you can see I currently have a lot of grid power being generated. Specifically, I have a lot of stuff actually going on at the moment. But I'm here to explain to you how to make this stuff and what it's all about. So, this one here, the Windmill, is stone burnt plus redstone gear and resonating redstone crystal. Makes you one of these. It's not too bad. The only thing is, if you watch this one that's I'm in front of, if I place one in front of it, or if I place one behind it, it will no longer generate power. If you see on the bottom there, it says no power used or generated. So you need to make sure that at least one block in front of it, it sometimes has a glitch where it won't let you put things in front of the block. I don't know why. It's probably just because it doesn't want you to put things in front of it, so it will place blocks next to it. But if you have a space between them, then you can actually start generating your GP, or grid power. Now, I have to say that as far as these that we're discussing today, this is probably the least reliable. It could generate the most, but it also, if you notice the power generating, it's fluctuating. So rainstorms and stuff like that, it's going to go up more. Other times it's going to drop down, but on average it's going to generate somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1 GP per unit that you place down, provided that the space in front and behind is clear. So with that in mind, it's not a reliable source, and considering that you have to have everything lined up in order to actually make the items that you need, I don't really care for this one too much, but it does look really cool. I have to say, you could use these for decorative builds, for vertical fans of some sort, and they do have a little like swirly wind design on top, so you could use them per se for some kind of runic ritual or something like that if you want, or just a decorative stone. But it doesn't change with the facing that you put down there, and when you look at it, of course, it will say that information on it. So it's not the best of decorative blocks in that aspect, but it does look really cool for any kind of rotor. Now, moving on from there, we have the next three, which are very similar in how good they can be, but each one has their own pluses and minuses. Now, if I were to look at this one here, the Watermill, the recipe for that is a bunch of stone burnt, 2 redstone gears, and 1 resonating redstone crystal. We'll get you one of these units, which, they have a little, kind of like this little watery rotor, I guess, on the side, plus the water on the side. Everything is kind of marked out: fire, lava, water, and of course air. So you've got your different styles. Lava, I think, represents earth in this case, but this one is very unique. It has to have flowing water, and in order for it to generate. But if you notice this here, power generating 3, power generating 5. There's a big difference on how these will generate power, and you can have them generate quite a lot per block made. That is where the strength of the water mills, lies. In this case, I have a bunch here. You can see here, no power is generated because this is the source block of water. If you move on to the next one, the next closest one is 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and of course the water runs out. There's nothing there, for it to generate. So, and it doesn't matter how many sides you put the water on. It's only going to generate this much to a point. Actually, I take that back. The water one is one of the few that actually does apply the number of sides. It's surrounded by water, will increase it, whereas things like lava and fire will not. So to go through with a little bit more of an example on what the heck's going on, what I'm talking about with the water mills, is that if you see here, I currently have source block here. Let me grab some of this glowstone so you can see. I have a source block here and a source block here. Now if I put them in the other corners, it all turns into still water. So you want it to be strong current, and therefore the first block on either side of a source block is going to be the strongest. Now by doing this, it's generating 16. So 4 on each side, therefore giving you 16 GP for one water block. So as far as cost is concerned, you can therefore generate the most amount of GP of these devices per block, minus the dragon egg one over there, with the water wheel, or with the Watermill. And you can feasibly do something like this. So you see I have one here, here, so just in the opposite corners. Now if you is where all the source blocks are in this case. Now if you try and put a source block here, then of course everything's going to start filling in. So you don't want to do that, or at least partially, and it's going to start killing things off. But you can see 16, 16, 16, 16. So you can generate a decent amount of GP just from watermills, and I highly recommend it. It's a very safe method. It's unlikely you're going to drown in one block of water. The only drawback probably would be maybe the sound of water in the area, I guess. But otherwise, it's a really reliable, very inexpensive method, and my personally preferred method. Now, you can, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, what if I just put this on top? You notice here, no power used or generated. This is because it has to be flowing in a horizontal manner. Vertical flowing water does not count for these. So therefore, that kind of, causes people to go, oh, okay, well, never mind. But in a sprawling area, it's not too bad. I mean, these things will generate GP passively. You don't need to, have them generating a whole lot of stuff. Now let's move on to some other stuff here, like lava. This one here, you notice the one in the second, in the center here, it's fully surrounded by lava on all 4 sides, and it's generating 2. Now let's go over to this one that's surrounded by 2 sides. 2. Well, I think you're probably noticing a little something here. Let's put one over here that's only on one side. 2. So your best bet for getting lava is really just one lava surrounded by a bunch of the lava mills. Now, lava generator, excuse me. And in this case, it's good, but I mean, one lava will set things on fire. So you have to have some protection against that. So it's not necessarily the safest method. As far as area that it covers, I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's half of that of the Watermill in the same space, and 4 times as much ingredients. So personally, I think that the Watermill works better in this case, though if you wanted to have more of a fiery lava theme, then go for it. You could feasibly just have them diagonally running down with lava alternating them, sort of like this here. I will add in, you could just kind of add some here and there. Hopefully I don't destroy too much of the landscape with the lava that I just spawned in. But you get the idea. It can be helpful in ways, but personally I still think that the Watermill is the way to go. And moving on from there, we have the fire mill, which is a little bit different from the lava one. Now, having some fire, I don't have a flint and steel on me, but having a fire next to these will not generate more power. It's only underneath, and therefore I have currently a bit of netherrack with some fire, and it's directly underneath. So it's no big deal there, right? And it generates 2. So that's what? 3 blocks total, and that's vertically, will allow you to generate 2 GP. So that's pretty good, You could have a full 3x3 grid making 18 GP in the same space that this one would. Now, there is a drawback. Now, I'm just talking about 3x3 horizontally, of course. So if you were to go vertically as well, then the water will still slightly make that better, because then you could also, cover this over and make another layer. And then, like, in a 3x3 area, I think that the water would probably win in that case, but, it all depends. But if you wanted to, you could go for this, and this would, generate a lot in a small space. You could make it go vertically in just a narrow column if you so desired, you know, just stacking like, whoops, I just totally blocked that out, but you could put netherrack on top of these. It would be a little bit challenging because they are, you know, I'm trying to place on top and it doesn't want to. You would have to do something like this. And, you know, it's still generating power, but then you'd have to put that being netherrack, then fire, and then this unit on top of that. So you get the idea, though. So fire, not too bad. It's a little bit better than the lava. It's very comparable to the water, but then again, you also have the possibility of fire catching things, you know, nearby. So you'll have to be cautious and careful of that. Overall, though, I do recommend that you go off with the Watermill if you want the most production for littlest cost, because once again, you would have to generate a lot of these for the fire mill, which the recipe is a bunch of stone burnt, resonating redstone crystal, redstone gear, nether brick fence, and you have to have gone to the nether or have access to netherrack. So, yeah, these materials are cheaper. You make less of them, you make the most power with it. So hey, looks like water bases for everybody. But then we've got the final one here, generating 500 from the dragon egg. That's right, you kill the ender dragon, you get one of those ender dragon eggs, and you just put it up on top of this thing, and you get yourself 500. Now the recipe for this one is 4 stone burnt, ender pearl, redstone gear, eye of redstone, and 2 nether stars. So it's not cheap. But then again, if you're already getting to the end, then you should have access to those things as well. And by far, this one is the most compact. I mean, if you had multiple eggs for some reason, you could generate a lot of power in a very small space. So make sure that you're sharing your GPs with other people if possible. But that's pretty much it for this. Just thought you guys would like to see some of your options. I do not recommend the wind unless you're going for just something aesthetic, because it is so unreliable. You see it's generating random amounts of power there. The water, by far the most reliable, least expensive. Lava, most expensive. But then again, you could go for the lava theme. I don't know. Maybe you can use the lava in other ways. The fire, once again, very similar to the water one, but it does require access to the nether. So that's about it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to spread the mischief to others. Till next time, folks. I'll see ya.